I've been training since the age of 7 years old. I've been wrestling for almost 21 years, not counting the years that I spent training.
Yeah.
But it's very, very important that our youth, that our kids that watch WWE on a weekly basis understand that we go through a very strict process of training to do what we do, and we always advise them to not try this at home.
And even with all that training, list some of the injuries you've had. I mean, just significant.
Oh, and incredible. 5 ACL tears on my left knee, which I had to go under some major surgery, 2 scope surgeries, so a total of 7 on my left knee, 3 on my right arm, torn bicep. Right now, I feel like I have a dislocated shoulder, which has been bugging me for the past, I want to say, 2 to 3 months.
Wow.
And last night, I felt like I pulled a groin on my right side. So, and these are all little things that you really don't feel it at the moment, but when you wake up in the morning, like, oh my God.
And
what happened?
When you watch like the movie like The Wrestler, which a lot of guys in your profession have said really did a good job of showing what happens to some people later, do you ever just start to think, why do I keep doing this? Just because you want to be able to be, when you do hang it up, you want to be able to be healthy and play with your kids or do whatever you want to do.
Right, and I think you got to be very aware of how you secure your future. In every aspect of the way,
yeah.
Economically, physically, like you said, I do want to retire and be able to kneel down and throw the ball with my kids. I'm 35 years old. I want to say that anywhere between the ages of 38 and 40 in this profession, after doing it for 20, by that age it'll be 25 plus years, is actually a very good age to retire.
Yeah.
So that's my goal, to pick a right time and do it with enough time in advance and say, you know what, I'm getting ready to throw a towel in, but I'm doing it at a good time, and I want to make sure that my fans remember me as the athlete that brought emotion, that brought excitement, tears, joy, and man, he left at a good time.
Was there a time real early on when you were taking the risk and learning the ropes and maybe wrestling in places that you would later regret? Was there one time you said, man, maybe there's something else, something different, maybe there was a bad landing or something happened along the trail that said, boy, I got to rethink this whole wrestling thing?
During my early
on before you caught on.
Never really an injury that scared me to put me away. While I was already a professional wrestler, but during my process of becoming a professional wrestler, my uncle was the trainer. He was the one that was in charge of the class when I was training. He would always use me as an example.
No.
And I would hate that.
Yeah.
Oh no.
So whether it was a chop across my chest, and I was only 12 years old at the time, or a bloody mouth or a bloody nose, and I would just get so angry, and I couldn't understand how to separate the fact that he was my uncle, but he was beating me up, and I had to roll out of the ring and say, I don't want this anymore, like a kid, and start crying and get over there by the corner in the wall and kind of keep my eye back and forth, and I would see the class was still going on. My uncle never took the time to step out and come and talk to me, and it's just like, okay, I'm gonna come back to the ring then. And once I made my way back into the ring 5-10 minutes later, then he would pull me aside and say, you are as equal as the other students, and don't think that because your mouth bled or your nose bled or I chopped you hard that it's not gonna happen with the rest of the guys. I said, we're all equal here, and we're all trying to learn and become successful. Of course, at that time, I didn't really understand it. Now, in this stage of my career, I'm like, wow, it just hit me.
Rey Mysterio with us. The Elimination Chamber pay-per-view comes to St. Louis on Sunday. Some great seats still available. Make sure you log on to Ticketmaster.com today or just head on down to the Scott Trade Center box office and pick up your tickets. And again, enjoy your evening. There'll be not one but 2 Elimination Chamber matches, so you get to see Rey in one of those, and the guys from their other program, the Raw program, on the other Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. Before we let you go, you know, Vince McMahon is just one of those iconic figures, and, you know, of course, has his on-camera character, but do you have a good just Vince story, and just watching him be a businessman and then switching over to the on-camera guy, and you know, then, you know, helping with the writers backstage? I mean, do you just have anything good on your boss?
I'll tell you what, he's a true human being, and I get to see that every now and then throughout the whole year, but mainly when we go to Iraq. And for the past 3 years, when we go to Iraq, I've been part of the of Group 1, which consists of Vince McMahon and another crew that's behind the scenes, along with R-Truth and I think it was Kelly. So that's when I really get to see the side of Vince and just communicate. And it's not business. It's just friendship. It's Vince and Rey, you know, and there's a really cool side of him that a lot of people don't get to see. And
I'm sure he's gearing up a little bit. World of Wrestling is going to get a little bit more competitive, as your guys' competitor is going to go live on the same night as you guys, and Hulk Hogan, for those that don't follow the wrestling game, was a part of that other organization. But you were involved in this when you were with WCW before the merger and stuff. The competition's probably good for everybody.
I think it's always been good. Competition has always been one of those things where you know, it's the fans who decide what they want to see and what they want to pay for. So I'm all about it. I'm happy that competition is coming aboard. Bring it on.
Did you like working with Hogan when he was around, or is it tough for some of the people to, you know, they get to a certain level, there's a big talk of egos and all that stuff behind the scenes?
Never really had beef with Hogan. As a matter of fact, he used to bring his son around in WCW, and he was a lot younger. I used to get in the ring with him and then kind of roll around with him a little bit. But, you know, Hogan and myself never really hit it off at a wrong start. We were always really cool and shook hands and, you know, parted our own ways.
What's the neatest thing you've got to do that you never thought you'd be able to do, as you know, because you're a wrestler and you get to this point of your career? Neatest person you got to meet, best place you got to go, something along those lines.
I've got to meet a lot of celebrities, which I think is really cool. You know, it's part of this business. But the fact that you get to travel to so many countries and to realize how big wrestling is in other countries, that it is incredible. And not to go too far away, we just finished up this tour in Ecuador and Costa Rica. One of the nights we had like 18,000 people, and it was our first time at that venue in that country. And the fans were just incredible. The chants they come up with, and they just go based off what they see on TV.
Yeah.
So TV in Latin America is, our TV right now in Latin America is very huge. So I think that's one of the things that I really have to admire the most.
You have any predictions for this Sunday? You going to bring home the belt again?
I really am looking forward to it. The last chamber I was in was last year, and I was very fortunate and almost came on top. So I always think that as years go by, you want to get closer and closer. So this might be my night.
Well, Rey, we really appreciate you coming by today. And again, tickets available, Ticketmaster.com or the Scott Trade Center box office. It's this Sunday, so go down and get your seats, some good seats remaining. And, of course, St. Louis native Randy Orton, a part of the event, and all the big stars from the WWE will be in town this Sunday. This is one of the best wrestling cities in the world, really. Got to bring us a WrestleMania, too. We got to have a big showing here. And then bring the biggest event. That's what we're going to do.
This is just one pay-per-view before WrestleMania,
yeah.
So make
sure
you catch this one.
Gearing up. Rey, thanks so much for coming by.
Thank you very much. Dominic, are you going?
We're going, right, buddy?
Yeah.
All right.
We'll be there.
Yeah.